All right, so what we are going to be breaking down here tonight and what I'm going to be giving you here tonight, a test and proven version of, is what we call the super affiliate opt-in funnel. All right. Now, this is the funnel that I used when I was $10,000 in debt, when I couldn't afford my $380 rent bill, when I was kicked out on the streets in Las Cruces, New Mexico, literally the middle of the desert, and couldn't afford to literally pay for food. This is the exact funnel that once I got set up, once I got optimized, and once I really dialed in, allowed me to get to the $10,000 per month mark in a matter of just months through going ahead and dialing in, of course, the funnel, and then, of course, personally branded email follow-up. All right, so this is the funnel. I'm sure many of you, if not most of you, have seen this funnel. And really the key is to dial in each actual component of the funnel. So what I always recommend people to look at their funnel as is essentially kind of like a bicycle wheel, right? So what happens, let me know in the chat box, what happens with a bicycle wheel if one spoke is broken? All right. What happens with a bicycle wheel if one spoke is broken? Everything else can be working just right. Everything else can be optimized, dialed in, working just the way it's supposed to be working. But if one spoke is broken, absolutely, it gets wobbly, it's thud, right? You fall over and it doesn't work. And so in order to go ahead and make sure that this actually works for you, you have to have every piece dialed in. You have to have every piece optimized. Now, the pieces in this actual funnel are your opt-in page, now otherwise known as opt-in page, lead capture page, squeeze page, landing page, etc. Those are common terminology for, of course, an opt-in page. And this is the page where we go ahead and get someone's email address. And I'll touch on all the goals in just a minute. We then have a second page, which is a bridge page. Now, a bridge page is a page that is optional. If you do the video correctly on the bridge page, you will increase conversions. You will build more know, like, and trust with your audience. And ultimately, when you have more know, like, and trust, when you have more of a relationship with your audience, what happens when it comes to sales? You make more sales through, of course, email follow-up. All right. So if you have, let's say a big list, but nobody knows who you are, it can be harder to make sales through follow-up. Now, if you do follow up correctly, even if you don't have a bridge page, you can still make sales, but you have to spend more time warming up your list if you don't have the bridge page. Then, of course, you have your affiliate offer. Now, as of course, an affiliate, you don't have to take, control of this portion. We're actually going to show you a specific affiliate offer that this funnel that we're giving you here tonight is built out for. And that said, once again, it's a proven winner. It's an offer that converts like crazy. It's an offer we've promoted quite a bit in the future, and you will have a funnel optimized for that funnel. And we'll also show you how to tweak, once again, this funnel if you want to use anything else. All right, so does that sound good? Let me know in the chat box. Does that sound good? Are you guys ready to go ahead and move on? Give me a quick yes, blow up the chat. I see we have about 80 people on here with me live. Let me know with a quick yes. I want to see 80 comments come flying in. Let me know with a quick yes if that sounds good. And we'll go ahead and get the show on the road. Yes, yes, yeses are flying in. Awesome. Thank you for all the interaction. And let's go ahead and move right on. And the first page in this overall funnel is the opt-in page. All right. Now, the first thing that I like to teach on very simply is what I just mentioned a moment ago, but the names. All right. So I know a ton of people get super confused when they hear opt-in page, squeeze page, lead capture page, landing page, capture page, lead magnet page, and everything in between. All right. How many of you have been confused when it's like, oh, what's the difference between a squeeze page and a capture page and a landing page and an opt-in page and a lead magnet page? There's so many different pages. I have no clue what's what. All right. So the first thing to understand is that this page is literally all of those things. One of the things marketers do in order to make things appear new, and this is an embedded lesson within this training, but a super highly valuable, relevant lesson for you. One of the things marketers do to make things appear new and therefore sexier, shinier, and more appealing is they change the name of something that is already existing. All right. Now, they might change it a tiny bit. They might adjust it a tiny bit. But look, I hate to burst your bubble, but the Atkins diet is very similar to the Zone diet, is very similar to the Paleo diet, is very similar to the Keto diet. They're all pretty much kind of sort of the same diet. Marketers keep changing the label. They keep changing the name. And when they change the label, when they change the name, it becomes more appealing because it appears as it's new, and therefore people tune into it more. All right. So the first thing to understand is this page is all of those things. All right. And here's an example of this page. Now, this is of course an example without an immediate opt-in, CTA on the page is what you call micro commitment page. So on this page, what would happen is people would go ahead and click this button, click here to get started. When they would click here to get started, it would then go ahead and of course give them the ability to, input their email address and move on to the next step in the funnel. All right. Now, very quickly, just to run through the elements of this page, the first thing we have is a headline. All right. So finally, a proven system for making real money from home, even if you're brand new and on a shoestring budget. You want your headline to, of course, touch on the benefit. You want your headline to pique curiosity. And you want your headline essentially to allow your prospect to see how the solution that you're going to show them will move away from their pain and towards a desire, right? Every single time someone makes a decision, it's either to move away from pain or towards a desire. Now, this is a little bit more towards a desire for making real money online, right? At the same time, once again, be sure you use both. Now, the highest impact element of this page is the headline, bar none. All right, if you get the headline wrong, nothing works. I'll give you a couple headline formulas in just a minute. We're not going to take the time here tonight to run through and write out headlines, but I'll give you the headline formulas. But the biggest element on this page that will drive the most momentum with your prospect when they hit the page, very simply, is the headline. Now, from there, we of course have our button and our call to action. Now, the main thing you want to do, the main psychological trigger, who here knows the main psychological trigger? Let me stop sharing real quick just to see. All right, who here knows the main psychological trigger we want to touch on? Let me know in the chat box in order to go ahead and get people to opt in. If you were at our recent workshop, once again, you guys should know this. All right, emotional. We do, of course, want to, move people in an emotional way. Wayne, awesome. That did not take long. The main emotional trigger we want to hit on is curiosity. All right, so we want to pique curiosity in a way that is also revolving around the prospect's desires. And then from there, pique curiosity and do nothing to scare the thirsty deer away. All right. Now, what the hell is Misha talking about? A thirsty deer? I have no clue what he's talking about, right? The thirsty deer was something my mentor taught me when I was first getting started, Dagan Smith. And essentially, he taught me to look at a prospect on the internet like a thirsty deer. All right. So if you look at a thirsty deer out in the woods, in nature, right? They have, lions chasing them. They got bears coming after them. They got things left and right trying to kill them. They got hunters trying to snipe them and everything in between. All right. So let's say there's a pond off in the distance. Let's say they're thirsty and they want to go drink that water. But again, they have all of those things that they're used to having coming at them. What's that deer going to do? That deer is very cautiously and very timidly going to move towards that water. And as that deer moves towards that water, it's going to look for anything that might present itself as a threat. It's going to look for anything that might look off. And if anything goes wrong, right, whether or not something's trying to kill that deer or not, whether or not, a branch falls from a tree or a leaf blows the wrong way or a siren goes off, if anything goes off, that thirsty deer is gone. That thirsty deer is not going to go drink the water. It'll bypass getting the desire of drinking the water in order to preserve its own personal safety. All right. Unfortunately, the internet has kind of become like that, like I just mentioned. All right. So if you look at prospects on the internet, there are a ton of scams out there. There are a ton of things that provide no real value. There are a ton of opportunities with huge false promises that don't do anything, that don't provide any substance. And we're at a stage when it comes to market sophistication in the market that, guess what? Prospects have seen, they've heard, and they've really kind of been through it all at this point. And therefore, once again, they're highly skeptical, they're highly cautious, and anything to distract them, anything to worry them, anything to scare them away from taking the desired action step you might want them to take, even if it's, let's say, social proof, even if it's something that you think could help, increase conversions, even if it's something that might help conversions in another context, in another place in your funnel. When it comes to your capture page, you have one single sole goal. All right. You want to generate a lead. You only want to generate a lead. The way you generate a lead is you pique curiosity and you do nothing to scare the thirsty deer away. All right. Does that make sense? Let me know. Does that analogy make sense?